Hi everyone, this is a video about organizing your data to do a bootstrap analysis. It's particularly important for people who have more than two groups in their category. So for example, the Titanic data set, if I wanted to compare the ages between first class and third class passengers, then this video would be particularly important to me because there are more than two types of passengers. There's also second class passengers. The formal question that I'm trying to answer is, what is the difference in median age between first class and third class passengers on the Titanic? Now, if I just get the data and put that straight into NZ Grapher, this is what I want to compare, and my X variable, so on the X-axis would be people's ages, and my Y variable, the groups that I'm comparing are passenger classes. And then I want to do a bootstrap interval for the median. And the message I get over here says I must select a categorical Y variable with two categories. Now the problem here is I've got third, first and second class. I've got more than two categories and NZ Grapher can't cope with that. So this is what we're going to do. I'll just quickly go back and show you how to get the data set. So from your email with the data sets in it, you will click on the little pencil and that will open it up in Google Sheets. Quite slowly if you're at school during the holidays. So we wait. And wait while the lawnmower goes past. Okay, so click on the top left-hand corner of your data and then scroll all the way to the bottom and shift click on the bottom right-hand corner, and that highlights everything in between. Then you're going to go to the data menu and sort the range. Click on data has a header row, and that will enable us to see sort by any of these. We want to sort it by passenger classes. We want to group the passenger classes together. Sort. And then you can see first class, second class, third class passengers. So to delete all of the second class passengers, they're the ones that I'm not interested in, I click on the first row. Notice that it highlights the entire row. And then I scroll down and shift click on the last row. And it highlights all of the second class passenger rows. Then right click on the selection and click on delete rows that are highlighted. So for me it's rows 56 to 111. And now I have just first class and third class passengers. Okay, so I'm going to highlight those again. Click at the top left hand corner and shift click bottom right hand corner. Copy the data and come back over to NZ Grapher, paste the table and paste this new one in. And now it works because there are only two passenger classes. So what I'd just quickly like to do is remind people about those really basic things in an analysis, the 4 bullet points, the 4 things that you could notice. Well, I noticed that the median age of first class passengers is higher in our sample than third class passengers. In fact, if I look down here, I can click on the summaries and I can see that the difference between the medians 22 and 42. So the median is actually 20 years older for first class passengers. The shape, I noticed that the first class passengers are spread out a lot more, whereas the third class passengers have more of a bunch in the middle. The variability, the interquartile ranges, I noticed that the variability is bigger amongst first class passengers than it is amongst third class passengers. And are there any unusual points or groups or outliers? Well, I guess there's this 80-year-old down here and just over 60-year-old in the third class. And I guess one thing that's interesting is there's about 20 years difference between those two as well. And there's about 20 years difference between the two minimums. So those are all important things to note about what's happening in our sample. And then when we come down here and look at the bootstrap analysis, remember that's our 1,000 resamples, the top and bottom 2.5% chopped off. We can see here difference between the medians is somewhere between 13 years and 27 years older for first-class passengers. I'd recommend that you go back and take a look at the example notes that are in the email that I've sent you. One last thing, if you click on the summaries down here, then you'll be able to see the number of people in each group. So I can see that there are 54 people in the first class passengers and 90 people in the third class passenger sample. Okay, I hope that's helpful and hopeful, actually, and good luck.